From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. Our top story tonight. Eid al-Fitr prayers will be offered on Wednesday. Let me be the first to say Eid Mubarak to our Muslim audience from the Muslim Network TV family. Muslims around the world concluded Ramadan today after completing 30 days of fasting on Tuesday, culminating with final prayers. Tens of thousands of Muslims who stayed in mosques for the last 10 days of Ramadan, focused on worship, returned to their homes this evening in preparation for their Eid holiday. As Ramadan concludes, Boston Muslims are reflecting on the ongoing Gaza conflict, dampening the usual festivity of Eid al-Fitr. Grief over the loss of Palestinian lives has muted the expressions of gratitude and joy typically felt at this time. Traditions differ to mark the festivity of Eid in the U.S. It often comes with baking pastries and decorating homes. Over the years, another informal tradition has taken root. That is getting all dressed up to attend an early morning prayer, followed by a big and hearty breakfast at IHOP. While the origin of this tradition remains unclear, it has become a beloved ritual for Muslims nationwide. Local franchises like the one in Brighton prepare for the influx of customers. Imam Abdul Qadir Farah says he appreciates the affordability of IHOP. Although not every Muslim partakes in this tradition, it provides a sense of community and familiarity, especially for those from Muslim-majority countries. Arizona's Muslim community will be celebrating the Eid al-Fitr holiday this week with inclusivity, aided by Muhsen, a national nonprofit supporting people with special needs. Tempe resident Brittany Blankenship, who was drawn to Islam's community spirit, faces challenges during Ramadan due to her son Jack's sensory sensitivity. Jack is on the autism spectrum. At Tempe's Islamic Community Center, Muhsen volunteers ensure his comfort while his mother worships. After converting to Islam, Blankenship said it was initially challenging for her to do so due to concerns about her son. Muhsen operates in 6 Arizona mosques, offering services like wheelchair accessibility and support groups aiming to integrate special needs families. Founded in 2014 by Imam Umar Sulaiman, Muhsen aims to honor his mother's legacy and support families facing similar challenges. Usman Khan, Muhsen's Arizona chapter co-leader, says there are little under 115 Muhsen-certified mosques across the U.S. The certification process starts with a mosque member assigned as facilitator for Muhsen, followed by an online survey to gauge congregants' needs. The organization offers support groups at places of worship for the faithful, American Sign Language interpreters at conventions and other facilities. In the past 30 days of Ramadan, Israeli strikes have killed 2,248 people. That is nearly 75 Palestinians every day. Amidst shortages of supplies, Gaza's inhabitants are struggling with displacement, with little hope for celebration this Eid. In Deir al-Balah, displaced women bake traditional Eid cakes using supplies provided by charity organizations. They aim to instill a sense of joy despite the grim reality around them. Almost every home in the territory is mourning the loss of family members. Under Israel's blockade, the people of Gaza have been deprived of food, water, and other basic supplies. Israel's army continued to target Palestinian children on Monday, right before the Eid al-Fitr holiday, in an attack on residential areas. The wounded were brought to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Balah city and received initial treatment. The bodies of the children who were killed in Israel's attack were placed on the hospital floor. The Gaza Health Ministry reports that at least 75,933 other people have been injured since Israel's war began there in October. In related news, Israel's attacks on residential areas of Gaza on Monday continue to bring Palestinians to the brink of desperation. Israel's war has pushed 85% of the territory's population into internal displacement amid acute shortages of food, clean water, and medicine. Meanwhile, 60% of Gaza's infrastructure has been damaged or destroyed, according to the UN. Israel stands accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice. In interim rulings in January, the court ordered Tel Aviv to stop genocidal acts and take measures to guarantee humanitarian assistance is provided to civilians in Gaza. Elizabeth Warren becomes the first senator to legally consider Gaza a genocide. Details after the break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Elizabeth Warren has become the first U.S. senator to suggest that international legal bodies could classify Israel's war on Gaza as a genocide. Speaking at the Islamic Center of Boston last week, the senior Democratic senator said that legal application might reveal evidence to support this claim. Her stance contrasts with other progressive House members who have not yet explicitly labeled Israel's war as genocide. Warren emphasized her focus is on the ongoing legal process rather than expressing a personal opinion on genocide. The statement underscores Warren's growing influence among Senate Democrats. She has consistently advocated for re-evaluating military aid to Israel and recently opposed the potential sale of F-15s to it following the killing of aid workers in Gaza. New York City has reached a $17.5 million settlement in a class action lawsuit filed by two Muslim women. It was against the police policy of removing hijabs during arrest photos. Although the city denies wrongdoing, the New York Police Department has altered its policy. It no longer mandates removing head coverings during arrests. The settlement compensates affected women with payouts ranging from more than $7,000 to over $13,000 per incident. Filed in March 2018, the case represents thousands of New Yorkers. Plaintiffs cited violations of religious rights under federal and state law. Albert Fox Khan, representing the plaintiffs, hailed the settlement as a victory for privacy and religious rights. The NYPD says the settlement respects religious beliefs while addressing law enforcement needs. It comes at a time of increasing anti-Muslim bias in the U.S. A recent report from the Council on American Islamic Relations found complaints of anti-Muslim bias in the U.S. reached a record high in 2023. The civil rights group received more than 8,000 complaints of anti-Muslim incidents last year, the highest number reported in the group's 30-year history. Robert Kennedy Jr.'s New York State Director has admitted that the true objective of their independent campaign is to secure Donald Trump's victory in the presidential election. Speaking to Republican voters, Rita Palma emphasized diverting electoral votes from President Joe Biden to aid Kennedy's bid. She urged GOP voters to vote for Kennedy and get rid of Biden, thereby reducing Biden's 270 electoral votes. Palma said targeting states like New York and California to weaken Biden's electoral count ultimately benefits Trump. Critics, including political strategist Simon Rosenberg, have condemned the tactic as a betrayal and accused Kennedy of echoing Russian propaganda. Matt Corradoni of the Democratic National Committee has labeled the strategy a blatant effort to facilitate Trump's return to power. The Baye movement in Senegal, a branch of the Murid Sufi Brotherhood, stands out for its vibrant attire, dreadlocks, and distinctive lifestyle. Following the teachings of 19th century Sufi leader Sheikh Ibrahim Fall, they prioritize hard work, creativity, and service to others. Engaging in manual labor such as gardening and crafts, they view it as a form of worship and sustenance. Their attire, adorned with bold colors and symbolic accessories, reflects their spiritual beliefs and individual expression. Living communally, they emphasize humility, unity, and generosity. Despite their unconventional practices, the Baye community is respected in Senegalese society for their piety and adherence to their spiritual principles. Iranian authorities have granted clemency to 4 environmental activists detained since 2017. The decision is part of a broader amnesty marking Al-Fitr. Activists Niloufar Bayani, Sapide Kashani, Human Jokar, and Tahir Ghadirian were arrested in 2016 for their involvement with the Persian Wildlife Heritage Foundation. The pardon, covering more than 2,100 convicts, follows international scrutiny over allegations of espionage, a claim widely disputed. The activists faced harsh conditions, including psychological torture in prison. This move signifies a significant development in a case marked by controversy, including the suspicious death of a Canadian-Iranian activist. Environmental activists in Iran have been under pressure for years, as their advocacy often highlights issues worsened by official corruption, incompetence, and mismanagement. The U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, notes a concerning surge in atmospheric greenhouse gas concentrations. In a report, the agency pointed to carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide as the primary culprits, continuing their upward trend in 2023, although not as sharply as in recent years. The NOAA is warning of dire consequences and says global efforts to alleviate climate change have been inadequate. The agency notes that fossil fuel emissions are worsening the situation, contributing to ecosystem disruption. Fossil fuels also lead to ocean acidification when CO2 is absorbed by the world's oceans, causing a fundamental change in their chemistry. Oceans have absorbed an estimated 90% of the excess heat trapped in the atmosphere by greenhouse gases. The NOAA is stressing the urgent need for substantial action to curb greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate climate change's devastating impacts. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. On behalf of Muslim Network TV, I would like to wish you all a very happy Eid. This Eid, your support is needed more than ever to continue our mission of providing informative, educational, and inspiring content to Muslims in North America and around the world. Donate now by calling 1-800-432-4262. You can also use the Zelle app for easy payments by sending to info@soundvision.com or visit muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Salam and good night.